What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Quadcast, the show where we get real, get raw, and get loud about mental health, substance use, and the fight to take our lives back.
Each episode, we're cutting through the stigma, dropping knowledge, sharing stories, and bringing the heat with guests who have lived it and aren't afraid to talk about it.
So turn it up, lock in, and let's break barriers, spark change, and build a community that refuses to stay silent. You're tuned into the Quadcast, and let's get into it.
You can find us on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, or email us. The Quadcast is always looking for new guests, whether you're individuals that have experienced it, you're in law enforcement, treatment programs, nurses, doctors, or anyone that just has something to say. Come share your story with us on mental health or substance abuse.
Warning, there's cussing in this video. If you don't like swear words, well, you're
watching the wrong damn show.
You know, when we get to, let me look at this real quick because I had this wrote down. Let me find it real quick.
Oh, you're good, buddy.
So let me see here real quick. So, step 10 is, continue to take personal inventory on when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will and the power to carry that out. And then, of course, step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. So any old-time AAer, I practice AA the old way. 10, 11, and 12 is your daily. You do those daily. So step 10, step 10 is, continue to take personal inventory when we're wrong, promptly admitted it. For an example, you and I are in line at McDonald's and you get the last sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, hey, motherfucker, I wanted a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle. You fucking took it. Fuck you. Okay. Then I immediately go back and go, hey, man, I apologize. That wasn't right. I'm just having a bad day. And that just really sent me over the edge. That was wrong of me to do. Is there anything I can do to make it right? That's a simple way. That's an obscene way. But, that's an example.
Right.
Of taking personal inventory. But in the big book, there's a good morning prayer and there's a good evening, or there's a good night prayer. Mm-hmm. But continue to take personal inventory. Where was I selfish? Where was I self-centered? Where was I egotistical? Where was I resentful? Where did I cause harm today? Did I self-seek in any way?
So that is self-reflection.
Yeah, correct. 100%. That is what that is. 100%. And then 11, and for anyone that hears this or that wants to understand it, when it comes to AA or NA, whatever, any program that you work, and if you decide you don't want to work a program, I don't hold that against anyone at all. Whatever works for you is what you should do. And I tell that to anyone, and even my sponsees. Listen, for anyone that's trying to get sober, that wants to get sober, I'm not telling you have to go to church every Sunday. I'm not telling you have to believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not telling you have to work the steps. I'm not telling you have to read the big book. I'm not telling you to work AA or NA. Whatever works for you to help you deal with this disease of addiction, that helps you get over that disease and helps you daily maintain sobriety and helps you recover, then do it. But don't knock AA until you try it.
Sure. And, just me sitting here listening to the steps that you have covered, they make sense as to why they're worked.
Yeah.
Now, I can't look at it from an alcohol or narcotic standpoint, but I can just look at it from a, decent human being standpoint and be like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like, and listen, and if you've worked AA and it doesn't work for you, but thoroughly say, thoroughly say that you did it and it didn't work for you, then so be it. It's the same thing I say for Recovery Point. It's for everybody, but it isn't for everybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's all in how you perceive the information.
Correct. And, and I will tell you right now, working in the recovery field, a big thing that they help and they make you understand and cover is mental health. And I
Yeah,
know that is something, that you struggle with and a
absolutely.
lot of people struggle with. And man, I will tell you, I was one of those people that was one of those old school AA people that was like, oh man, oh, your feelings are hurt. Get the fuck over it. You know what I mean? But
Oh, bro.
that's not real. My wife deals with mental health. When I met her, she was dealing with mental health. And it took me seeing that to realize, okay, just because you don't shove needles in your body and you don't smoke crack or snort cocaine or smoke weed or snort pills or whatever it may be, doesn't mean that you don't have a problem.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I would have argued with you for years that I never had a problem with mental health until 8 years ago,
Right.
but after my accident.
Yeah.
And I was, once I got discharged out of rehab and came home, like that's where it actually set in. That was the dark times, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and it was downhill from there until about 3 years ago when I actually decided to start working on my own.
Yeah. Man, listen, I will tell you, you are 100%. And I've spoke about this before. And when you reached out to me and asked me to do this, like I tell people, man, like you are 100% an inspiration because I will tell you right now, like there is no way. Like, and this is just me personally. Now, if things were different and things would have happened, then I would have came out of it like you did and done what you've done. Maybe things would have been different. But from the outside looking in, I don't think I could. I don't think I could do it, Mac. I really don't. I really don't. And I know our lives were different, but like I, I don't know if I could have done it. And the fact that not only you've come out of it, and the things that you do now, you can't not acknowledge it and support it and give credit to it because I think it's amazing. I think what you're doing is amazing. I mean, for the simple fact that you call this the Quadcast, it's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Bro, I make a joke out of my shit.
Hey, hey, listen,
I spend more
Haley's
time
brother does the
laughing at
same
myself.
thing.
I spend more time laughing at myself than I do
Yeah,
anything. But
and listen, that's what we have to do. And like today, man, in my life today, um, sitting around with my guys, talking about our disease and like telling jokes and stuff. Like, you have to have fun with it.
you've got to find the light side in it because if you don't, you're going to live in a constant state of aggravation.
You do. You 100% have to, man.
And that does nothing but put you back in the uh, same place that you were trying to get out of it, man. And we ain't got time for that.
No, we don't, man. And you have to find a sense of relief in it, man. And if that's telling jokes about, you know, being on all fours, digging through the carpet, trying to find a piece of Ritz cracker to put into your crack stem, hoping that you're going to get a hit out of it. Yeah, I find that shit funny today.
Bro, my Ava, I had a toe amputated 3 years ago, bro. And she picks on me every time she's here because I only have 9 toes. And it's like I can't escape the people, just that I've been around since my accident because
Right.
we all just joke, dude. Like we are never serious anytime I'm around anybody. It's nothing ever serious. Like
Yeah.
they give a shit less whether I'm in a chair or not. But my daughter's the same damn way. Like she'll call me out faster than anybody.
Yeah, man.
She'll be like, can't walk? Like, no, I can't. Okay. No. I flipped my wheelchair over. I was trying to get on the ramp of the van back in the summer, man, and I pushed and my weight was just distributed wrong, and Ava was standing there watching me do this, and I flipped my chair over backwards, bro, and hit the concrete, and she was like freaking the fuck out, bro, like screaming, crying. The whole rest of the day, she wouldn't leave my side or let me push myself.
Oh my goodness.
I was grounded from any activities. Like she was, we would, and once we even got home, she was like, "Dad, I've got you." I'm like, "Damn, bro, we're home."
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that she's at that state now that where she understands it and she's there
But
for you and she's able to just to be able to see that and have that sense of like protection and understanding. That's awesome at her age. That's tremendous, honestly, man.
but really, man, like that's all she knows. Like
Yeah,
she
for
only
sure.
knows me in a chair.
Right.
So like she has no choice, I'll
Yeah.
say, because I mean she was a year old when I had my accident. So
Yeah.
I mean that's all she knows.
Yeah.
So but she's so smart and intelligent, like you can't just tell her some bullshit and her believe
Right.
it because she'll call your bluff.
Right.
So like you have to be like straight up truthful with her, at
Yeah.
face value all the time
Yeah.
because, and I'm sure you see it with coaching and everything else.
Yeah.
Kids will fucking say whatever you tell them.
Oh, 100%, man. And it's crazy too, man, because I will tell you, like, being where I'm at in my life today and done the things that I have done and do the things that I do today, seeing these kids and the way that they act, and you just want to grab them, and some of them I just want to punch them square in their fucking face.
Because they didn't get an ass whipping.
But the funny thing is, that's the same way I acted when I was their age, and guess what? You ain't gonna tell them nothing.
Exactly.
You're just not.
I'm hell most of the time I'm still the same damn way.
Yep,
But
100%, man.
Ava, she gets an idea in her head, she's the same fucking way. I'm like,
Yep.
cool. This is how this is gonna fucking work.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I've just learned that like it's the same thing that my mom has told other parents that have children that are in active addiction or that are in recovery. When they ask her like, how do you deal with it? And all you can do is love them, and that's it, man.
Right.
And that's all we can do. Is be there for them, and if they need us, we're there for them. And we sometimes you just have to love from a distance.
So how has your journey shaped your form of parenting?
Whew, man, th- man, how do I go about it? I think the structure that I've learned through recovery has been absolutely tremendous when it comes to parenting for me personally. But I mean, from a general aspect, not even being, recovery or no recovery. I mean, my wife, who's never even smoked weed a day in her life, and then me being a full blown junkie, whether, and someone like you who, who's paralyzed, or people that are, people that are millionaires or people that are homeless, they end up having, you're never ready to parent.
Sure.
I don't give a shit who you are. You can never be prepared to parent.
No, bro. It's a totally different fucking world.
Yeah, no, man. But I will say, I'm very grateful for the way that I was raised. I know that my mother tried, and I know my dad wasn't always there, but my dad loves me, and my dad always
Sure.
has, and I know that he always will. Dennis has always been there for me, and
That's a fact.
it's no disrespect, and I mean this if he ever hears this, and I mean no disrespect when I say this. Um, Dennis Mankins has been there for me more than Dennis Cline has, but
Sure.
don't but I still love them both, and I have all respect for both of them. And but Dennis Mankins has been more of a father to me because he's been in my life more. And I don't hold that against my dad as much. I did for a long time, but as I've gotten older, I've just had to, accept it and understand it. And that's a part of recovery as well. Working in AA and working in recovery is learning that true understanding of acceptance.
Sure.
Um, but as a parent myself, I think the structure with me being in recovery and working in recovery and being involved in the recovery field, because being here in Parkersburg is, the recovery community is so widely huge here, man. And I think just having that structure has truly helped me, because I have a village of people here, man, inside and outside of Parkersburg. But me personally, when it comes to parenting, it's definitely been a challenge. There has been times, when Riley was first born, in that first year, there were a couple times where I was like, man, I think I'm ready to just hang this up. You know what I mean? I'm ready to just walk away from
Yeah.
this. I don't think I can do it. And there have been times where I've just been like, I think she'll be better off without me. But I've realized that that's selfish. That's selfish of me to say,
Sure.
because she deserves to have her father. And I would never want to. I would never want to not be there for her, because she has been around my life inside and outside of recovery. She's been
Right.
to where I work. She's been to meetings before. She's, when she gets older, she's going to understand it. And when she gets older, I'm going to sit down with her and I'm going to tell her the same story we've had tonight. Like, I'm not going to be half-assed about it. Like, she's going to understand that her dad was a full-blown homeless junkie. Like, and I have no regret with her understanding that, because at the end of the day, like, my biggest fear has always and always will be, and my wife, she's actually sitting here beside me. Like, she came and sat down with me because I think she heard me talking about her a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
She's
shit.
she's always got that ear.
The
Um,
last person I had to get out of trouble too.
yeah, for sure. But I think, I will tell you that biggest fear is the hereditary effect taking its toll on my daughter when she gets older.
And that makes
Um,
sense. I didn't really necessarily think about that, but it
yeah.
makes sense.
Now I will go, and if you're not pressed on time, I don't
No,
care.
man, I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm not really worried about it going as far. Hell, I can talk about this as long as you want to talk about it, man. And if you want to
Buddy,
do another time, or like if you want to do another episode and we talk more in a different topic, we can. But I will tell you this now: there is a big conversation when it comes to choice or hereditary.
okay.
Me personally, now this is my personal opinion. Everyone else has their own opinion. There's scientific proven facts about certain things. And, some people are going to side with red, some people are going to side with blue, black, white, whatever you're going to call it.
It's kind of like
Me,
it's kind of like
it
politics. Ain't no better way.
100% is. 100% is. Me personally, I've always been on the fence of both. But I throw in the but. And what I mean by throwing in the but is, my grandfather died of alcoholism. My mom's dad died of alcoholism. My mom's mom died of alcoholism. My dad's mom was an alcoholic. My great grandfather was an alcoholic. Great grandmother on both sides, they were all alcoholics. My mom I would say my mom was an alcoholic. My dad was an alcoholic. Um, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but at the end of the day, I made that choice. So that's the but. And what I mean by that is like, take a kid from, you can take a kid from the inner city projects of Atlanta, or from, Oakland, California, or from anywhere, from places like that. One, or taken from, the Bronx, New York. They grow up in Section 8 homes, and all they know is drugs, or all they know is the streets, man.
Right.
What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, I mean unless they have an outside source of knowledge and mentorship,
Yeah.
they're just gonna fall right in the same shit.
Yeah, man. And let me make this very clear. Addiction does not discriminate. White, black, it doesn't matter.
No, and so you're the second person to say that. The last recording I was doing, we had that discussion too. So across the board, the information is the same.
100%, man. It does not discriminate. And I will tell you, it it is a choice. It 100% is a choice. Does it make it harder if that's all you know? 100% it does. But I think that gene is there, whether it's just that addictive personality. Um, but when it comes to taking that first one, is the choice that you make. Um, it's the same choice that you have to make to stop. You know what I mean?
So basically, and this may just be my ignorance, but the disease portion of it, you're saying, is hereditary, but you have to. It's the choice when you make it to go down that road, or are you saying it's a disease across the board and that pushes the choice to do it?
Man, I think
Because I know earlier, you mentioned that it was a disease and that there's scientific
yes,
findings on that.
yes, there
So
is.
at what point, like, eh, obviously you can only speak from your side, but
Right.
at what point does the choice come in if it is scientifically a disease? Does that make sense?
So, okay, so we can go into that part. So, for me personally, like I said, I've always been kind of on that fence of, is it a pass down from generation to generation, or is it just no matter what, it's just a choice? I've
Okay.
always been on the fence of both. But when it comes to the disease of addiction, so let's go into the scientific part of that. And I have no problem breaking this down for you. And anyone that hears this or wants to look this up or anything like that, this is all public information. This is all 100% factual things. So in the brain, we have what's called the amygdala.
Okay.
And the prefrontal cortex, that's the decision part of the brain. The amygdala gives off three types of forms, and it's dopamine, epinephrine, and serotonin.
Okay.
So, dopamine is that feel good,
Right.
serotonin is the sleep, epinephrine is the go.
Right.
I think that people like me have an imbalance in that chemical, in
Okay.
those three chemicals.
Which would make sense.
I think that I was born with a chemical imbalance. And with that being said, could it be the fact that when I was born I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck three times and in three knots, and when I was born because um the sack that the baby is in had broke and it was over my head and I couldn't breathe. So I came out fighting. Maybe, I don't know. That's one of those what ifs.
I mean, in theory, it sounds good.
Yeah, in theory, it is. It sounds good. But with that being said, let's go a little bit more into the scientific part of it.
Okay.
So with those three things, like I said, serotonin, epinephrine, and dopamine. So for an example, take someone like me who's an addict.
Okay.
You take away, so dopamine is given off when you eat, sleep, and have sex.
Okay.
Okay, we are humans. We're put on this earth. We were put on this earth to procreate. Whether we were put on this earth to procreate or not, we are humans. That's what we are. That's what we do, and that's how we got here. You know what I mean? Um,
And technically, the egg has to come, or the chicken comes before the egg.
yes. So, with that being said, heroin, cocaine, Xanax, Percocet, go down the list of drugs. Alcohol is a drug. Whatever, however you want to flip it, flop it, twist it, turn it, doesn't matter. Alcohol is a drug.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it can lead you down the same roads.
100%. So, with that being said, drugs give off the same dopamine effect as eating good, sleeping good, and having sex. So if I sleep good and I wake up and I have that big long stretch and I go, man, I feel good. Or when I have a big juicy steak and I cut into it and take that first bite and I'm like, oh my God, it tastes so good. And then obviously that effect of having sex.
I mean, that makes sense.
Alcohol, dope, dope, anything, it gives off that same effect. So with that being said, someone that's in the early state of recovery, when you take away the drugs or the alcohol, there's that chemical imbalance again. Now that dopamine effect is messed up. The serotonin is messed up because we weren't sleeping, or maybe we were sleeping a lot. And then the epinephrine is messed up because, okay, maybe you were a downer. Now you've got to figure out how you're going to be an upper. Or maybe you were an upper. Now you're a down. You know what I mean? Everything's all messed up. So now you're trying to find that balance in your life. So, with that being said, you have to have that sense of structure for yourself personally to where you can find those things in your life that can give you that balance, that gives you that sense of being. For me, it's working out. For me, it's coaching. For me, it's doing what I'm doing right now. That's a part of the 12 steps. What I'm doing right now is the 12th step. This is me as a sponsor, someone that's in long-term sobriety, someone that's in someone that is in long-term recovery. This is the 12th step, giving back.
Sure.
That is me having balance. That is me having that sense of balance. So the scientific part of it though is we are born with a type of imbalance. Some people might disagree, some people may agree, but at the end of the day, it is a disease. So I think that we are born with an imbalance and we make that choice to make that imbalance harder. Just like we have to make that choice to make that imbalance somewhat balanced, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but this just added a whole new level to mental health.
Absolutely, man. 100%.
Like,
Yeah.
so, and, as I'm sitting here listening, like, it really is more of a mental health problem.
It is,
To a
and
certain extent.
to an extent, it 100% is. It plays hand in hand, 100%. So put it to you like this: someone, and I've dealt with this, and I'll deal with it tomorrow when I'm talking with my clients. Someone that has mental health that also suffers from the disease of addiction, the sense of recovery is harder.
I could only imagine.
100% it is. Now, with that being said, someone who has relapsed on a new substance, say you were only an alcoholic and you tried methamphetamines, your path of recovery is going to be harder. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Vice versa. You were a heroin addict, you were a meth addict, you quit, you became an alcoholic. Your path of recovery is going to be harder.
Why?
100% it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no matter how you cut it, it is always, that is 100% the truth.
Why is that? Do we even know?
Because how do I put it? It's going to be harder because you've always known one thing. Now you've added something to it.
And you have to deal with it differently.
Exactly.
Okay,
It's the same.
that makes sense.
It 100%. It's just okay. For an example, let's flip it. Let's put it in your shoes.
Okay.
You were a human being that had the ability to use all of your extremities.
Yeah.
You had an accident that took away that ability to do that.
Okay.
Now you have to make that choice, and you have to find a way to be able to deal with what happened to you and how you a progression and make a reaction and make decisions with how you do and deal with your everyday life, knowing what happened to you.
Shit. Okay.
It, yeah, it, man, and whether it's you are, and it's just it. For an example, man, people, you can look at it in so many different ways, man. And what I say with that is like, someone that just has a mental health problem that doesn't have an addiction problem, just because someone that for an example, man, this is something, and if this podcast reaches huge, and I hope, and I really do, I hope that it does. I want nothing more than it to mainstream and get big. I want this to be known. I want to become or work towards, I don't want to say an activist or anything like that, but I would do anything in this world to be a spokesperson or work with mental health for professional athletes. Something has to be done in this world for professional athletes when it comes to the mental health aspect. This CTE, this prescription medication abuse, this non-prescription medication abuse due to mental health, CTE, something has to be done.
I don't disagree with you whatsoever. And, lately, and I'm sure that you've seen it too, but, professional football players have been in the mainstream media for the last couple of weeks between
100%.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
I seen one. I can't
Yep.
remember where he was from.
Killed himself.
Yeah, there was one that was shot.
Yep.
But I mean, it's all the time that professional athletes are in the news anymore.
Yeah. man. And whether it's a football player or a baseball player or a boxer or a UFC fighter a or a NASCAR driver, whatever it may be, mental health is an unbelievable m- monster, man. And there has to be ways, and there has to be progression, and there has to be ways to help. And there are ways to help. I want to be one of those people that can make the help better with whatever way that I can. Because me being an addiction, me being in recovery now, I am making that next step in helping someone else just like me. That's why I work in recovery, because it's me being able to give back, helping that next person find their way of life, right? So, making myself known, becoming a better human being every day, in and out, taking that next step forward. Okay, I've learned how to recover. I work on myself daily. I continue to work on myself daily. I give back when I can, how I can, whenever I can. What's next? Okay, let's reach for the next step. Okay, now I want to step into another avenue. I want to help on the mental health side when that comes to someone that deals with a different type of a problem, such as CTE,
Sure.
something as mental health. Um, because I truly believe, and I have told my wife this, and she knows this 100%, that if I die before her, my mother knows this, anyone that knows me knows this, I want my brain studied when I die, because I do believe that I have a sense of CTE, whether it's from the concussions from football, whether it's from from the ejection of the truck. I didn't even mention that when I was ejected through a windshield at 60 miles an hour.
I didn't mention that one.
Yeah, didn't mention that. 84 stitches in my face, took 12 hours to fix my face, almost lost my right eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It just all of, something has to be done.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Quadcast.
Remember, breaking stigma doesn't stop when the episode ends. We're building a movement, and you're a part of it. Stay strong, stay aware, and stay connected.
And this is the Quadcast, signing out.